The seminar that we're running today is really looking at virtualization and the changes in the IT and telecoms world, most notably within the telecoms world. So a lot of changes happened within the IT and data environments with the virtualization of data services and servers, a move to data centers. And today we're really going to be looking at a tremendously exciting time for our industry. So massive change, and the seminar is entitled Virtualization, Forging a New Paradigm, and we really believe that it's that significant what can be achieved through this route and this technology today. So we're going to share with you a number of tried and tested models, and also share with you how the technology has moved and the sort of benefits for your organisations. So before we start, I'm Jonathan Sharp. I'm the Sales and Marketing Director of Britannic Technologies. It's great to see a lot of familiar faces today, so both customers that we have partnerships with for many years, and also other people we're talking to that we're looking forward to creating long-standing partnerships as well. So Britannic Technology is a very well founded organisation. So one of the longest serving companies in this marketplace, set up in 1984. And with it, we've always focused on innovation, so looking at how we can help our customers leverage benefit from the latest technology, but also, importantly, how we can bring new technologies to market with partners such as Mitel and Ipanema, who we're here with today, and look at establishing paths, long-term partnerships with customers, really for mutual benefit. So, who are Britannic? What do we do? Well, as a business, we've come from the telephony world. A lot of skill sets within IP telephony and unified communications, one of those great terms that we hear today. And really, over recent years, we've made a significant change, investment, and development within our business to support customers who are moving through the introduction of new networks, which I'll touch on today. So next generation networks, what are they, what do they mean, and how are they helping people? We'll look at elements such as SIP, hosted technologies, and how these services can be really incorporated into existing environments to deliver benefits. And we'll talk through what we're seeing as the emerging new models around managed services and introduction of applications from the cloud to deliver not just a program moving forward, but also address tactical requirements as well around business strategy. I'm very pleased that as a business, our customer partnerships, we have many that span 10, 15, even in excess of 20 years. And in the industry, we've been recognised for our skill sets for integration and for delivering converged technology. So this, to me, is a great testament of who we are, what we do, and the approach that we take. We've got a lot of very well-established partnerships with major manufacturers and service providers that help us bring all of these components together, underpinned with our service wrap, to really deliver true value through today's converged technology. I'm going to be sharing with you, and in fact Mitel, Ipanema will also be doing the same, the sort of benefits that can be achieved through this shifting technology, this new world that we're embracing and moving towards. So we'll look at how businesses can become more agile, more flexible, and how we're creating technology platforms that we can predict and scale in line with business needs. We'll look at applications that can be deployed to deliver improved customer service, improved productivity, and we'll share with you some significant opportunity for cost savings. So I was talking with one of my colleagues earlier on today around an existing customer we've looked after for a number of years, and we're looking at really bringing these different locations together, providing closer integration across the board. And unbelievably, the technology that we're looking to deploy to support all of this, we can do in year and still achieve a cost saving for the client. And moving forward, we're looking at in excess of 30% cost saving against the current environment. Now, cost savings are one aspect. Business continuity and resilience are also very important. And it's all coming together. I'll refer to some analogies shortly, but it's all coming together to help our customers gain the competitive edge. You know, this is a change that's happening, and as I said, we're very excited about it. We've led this charge now for a couple of years around a new model that we've put together. We've invested significantly within our business to build these environments to be able to deliver these services to clients. Okay, so as I said, what I'd like to do is just really share with you what's happened, what's changing, why we're so excited about the developments in this industry, how it's helping people, but also importantly, how we're working with customers to manage this migration path. Because I think that's the challenge of, you know, change is one of those inevitables in life. But how are we going to manage this change? You know, there's already been a lot of change within the telecoms world over recent years. We've seen the move from analog to digital and digital to IP, and we're really at this new tipping point where we're shifting from traditional telecoms, even in an IP world, which are distributed, so boxes on premise, tin in the comms room, to be moving to a world where services and technology are centralized and then delivered across this converged network. There's a number of different elements and technologies that we'll refer to as well. So SIP trunking, what is it? Why is it something that we should consider for our businesses? Managed services, what role do they have to play within this world that we're looking at? Next generation networking, so the move from point-to-point connections through MPLS through to new Ethernet and private DSL and Annex M technologies. What do they all mean? How are they going to help me, and how can I leverage that technology for business advantage? Okay, the perfect storm. Really just looking at how all the changes are happening out there in the marketplace, not just IT and telecoms, but looking outside of that, looking at the economy. Clearly we've, in fact, not just as a country, but globally, there's been some severe economic challenges for organisations, a lot of financial pressures, a lot of people looking at how they can really get more out of investment, and invariably what we're seeing is people are being put under a lot of pressure to cut budgets, to try and do more with less. And invariably we're seeing the responsibilities in the IT world increase, yet the resourcing either stay the same or reduce. So it creates a real challenge for all of us. I work with a number of major clients. I love going out, meeting people, talking about the challenges that they face, and working out together how we can support them. In fact, one of the clients I went to see recently, they're a national housing association. They've got in excess of 500 locations throughout the country, and they've been looking at how they could support their business goals with technology and new projects. But with that, they've had the challenge of budgets have been cut. You need to achieve 25% cost savings, and yet you still need to carry on supporting our strategic path, goals and development. And I think that's common across today's climate and economy. And we'll see this, unfortunately, gain further traction within the public sector with the cuts that have started and continue to take place. So what we need to do is to see how we can support those pressures that people have with new enabling technologies. I'll talk through the technology development, so that's really the theme of the presentation, because it has moved on so far over recent years. The reason we run seminars and workshops with clients is because it moves on at such a pace. You know, we want to share with people what's happening. There's a lot of developments that we work on. We're a very innovative organisation that are really there for the future. You know, I talk through SIP technology. We've been working within that space for around about 7-8 years now. So a lot of what we hear about as new technology to market, the latest trends, CRM technology that you know, really we were talking through 12, 15 years ago. The latest guise of that, I think, is unified communications. So looking at how we're blending all this technology to actually support customers, greater service, greater productivity and greater efficiency in the business. So there's a lot of change, but this change, whilst it seems to be happening quickly, has been building up momentum over a period of time. Customers' demands and expectations, and also staff expectations for technology, continue to shift and evolve. And you know, we refer to it as the transferable experiences. So if you experience a great service from one organisation, it doesn't matter what industry they're in, that's your new benchmark. Yeah. So if I phone an organisation today and I think, wow, you know, I'm really impressed, then the next organisation I phone, irrespective of what they do, that's my new expectation level. So customers want personalised service. They want the always-on environment. And you know, what challenges does that create for us in the room to support 24/7 service? So with it, we need resilience within our services and technology. So Sarbanes-Oxley, BS 25999, the business continuity standard. Organisations today are being driven to look at risk, look at supply chain, look at availability. You know, it is far too easy today to be able to click next on Google and find the next provider for services that you deliver. It's a very, very competitive environment. So with it, we need to be resilient, we need to be available, and we need to be in a position where we can carry on with our business in the event of technology disruption. Disaster recovery is too late. That's a really important thing to consider. That if I've got a disaster that I've got to recover from, I've got a problem. And the longer the recovery period goes on for, the bigger the business impact. Okay, the green giants, carbon reduction, environmental concerns, and I know this clearly is very important to Ian and World Wildlife Fund, as it is for many organisations today. Corporate social responsibility. What can we do to look at reducing our impacts upon the environment? Look at carbon offset and reduction programs. You know, it's not. That's clearly very, very important. It's not just about that. If we approach it from a commercial standpoint and a productivity standpoint, why on earth would people want to, you know, an example I had many years ago was using collaboration technology. You know, why on earth would I want to drive around the country to share with members of staff what we're doing on technology, you know, when we can bring people into inclusive environments, use video technology, use whiteboarding, and actually share those updates in a real-time environment, which is a lot easier and quicker to facilitate, and it's a lot more productive for staff. You know, we're seeing new collaboration technologies come to the fore that help to reduce travel time and impact on the environment. We heard this week, and I'm sure you're all aware of the increase, we're all aware of the increase in fuel over recent years, but we've also heard from Centrica about the increase in energy costs as well. So wholesale pricing has risen by 25%. Clearly that's going to continue to have a knock-on effect to the UK economy. So new technology that can come to the fore to help reduce this burden and impact has got to be a great thing. Globalization of business. So again, with the advent of the internet, manufacturing locations globally, and the cost benefit of creating a global organisation and supporting a global market and global customers comes with challenges. So how do we connect people together? How do we create a single enterprise that is efficient across the board? And the need for business agility, flexibility and change. So all of these things have come together, in my view, at the right time to create compelling reasons for change. I think the economic pressures that people are under today, the trying to achieve more within the same period of time, it creates an environment where IT and telecoms, whilst we're there to support the business and move it forward, a lot of the stuff that we've known and loved and grown up with for many years can become a burden as well, with a very complicated and mixed supply chain. So what we are really helping our customers do is achieve more for less, and this is what I'll be talking through. Okay, so the dawn of a new era, and telecoms has become virtual. The move of telecom systems, which would be the traditional boxes in the corner of the wall, delivering services to your staff and to your customers. We are now at the point it's not happening, it's happening. We have, as I said, experiences to share with you that we have taken customers through this route. There's clearly been a lot of change in the IT world. Who in this room has already undertaken virtualization of IT infrastructure? Yeah, okay, so this is something that clearly has helped to improve the management of the systems, the flexibility, the speed of change, the speed of deployment, big cost-saving arguments of consolidating infrastructure as well. And voice is absolutely following that path. This is the next natural extension within the organization. And of course we're seeing and have seen the introduction of managed services, cloud computing, applications from the cloud. And this will continue at a pace. So we as a business, we've moved our email services, we've moved our CRM technology into the cloud, and we procure those services on a cost per user basis. So this is something that we'll continue to see move and evolve. From a budgeting perspective, it's very easy to understand, and as we want to turn on new applications, we can make tactical decisions and make that technology available very quickly where it's required. So some of the benefits which those of you who have already moved into virtual environments or utilising cloud technology, you'll be well aware of these, and you'll experience them in that world already. The ease of management, the fact that the technology can become a lot more resilient, the cost savings that can be achieved through consolidation, the scalability and the ability to deliver new applications quickly and seamlessly across the organisation. Clearly the reduction in power consumption as well. So what we have here is a typical environment that we see. And, this can scale depending upon the size of the organisation, but invariably we have telephone systems at each site, each of which could be running at different hardware levels, different software levels, indeed can be different manufacturers' platforms. Each of those can have different service providers and maintainers. We have the traditional connections into the PSTN network, ISDN connections, and we're connected through a wide area network, which could be for voice, or it could purely be for data communication. So typically this could be an MPLS network. Now, with it, what we're seeing is a very confusing and mixed supply chain. And some of the organisations we work with, we've gone in, we've worked with them, we've audited their telecoms estate, we've looked at the networks, we've looked at the ISDN connections, the telephony platforms, and we see really what's a very confusing situation. Lots of cost in there, and invariably these things grow and morph over time. So new services are added. There's not always the visibility of what services are deployed and where the costs are actually going. So this is what we're traditionally seeing. And what are people telling us that they want? Well, they're telling us that they're moving services into data centers. They're looking at networks that need to be fast, reliable, and support the business. They want to look at leveraging the benefit of cloud technology and cloud services and applications. And they want the telephony to really be less of a burden to them in their role to support the organisation. They want improved management, and we're seeing organisations really embrace this change where we're moving telephony applications, which they are, up into the core, up into the data centre, to be able to deliver across an organisation as a service. In fact, Trailfinder's one of our clients that we've worked with for 25 years now. They've embraced this model. They've seen the cost savings that can be achieved in a distributed environment. They have indeed have multiple ISDN connections. Believe it or not, 1,400 ISDN channels across the organisation as a whole. And because each of those individual sites had to be served with ISDN capacity, they were oversubscribing for each and every single site. Now, when we looked at this and we applied a consolidated view, and we looked at how we could bring, in essence, what becomes a shared service into the business, we identified how we could achieve significant reduction of voice channels that were actually required. So we've been able to move from the 1,400 channels to where we see today is actually a full concurrent requirement of around about 450 channels. So if we're looking at that, there's a massive reduction in cost. ISDN as technology, as a service, is circa 13 to 15 pounds per channel, and we're delivering SIP channels at £5 per channel per month. So straight away, the cost argument of replacing ISDN over to SIP is significant. But when we're looking at providing, in essence, dual services into the SIP cloud, we're able to scale down and remove this overcapacity that we've had across the network. So significant change and benefit for customers. So what we've done over recent time is we've spent a lot of time building an environment for customers. The term "you build it and they will come." And what we've done is we've taken the experience and the skill sets that we've had within the SIP networking world. So as I said, we've been supplying that for many years now, and we've created a carrier platform with direct interconnects with tier 1 carriers to be able to route calls via this new method for our customers. We've created what's very exciting changes in the networking space as well. So we've set up interconnects through both data centers and also through tier 1 network providers as well. Now, why have we done that? Well, I think the important thing is, in our view, there's no one-size-fits-all model to follow, but there's a lot of technology components that should be considered and used to be able to support different business requirements. So there'll be certain locations where private DSL or Annex N technology provides high bandwidth but certainly more affordable price points. There'll be other sites that we're looking at where we can introduce new technology with the likes of Ethernet and Ethernet first mile, so layer 2 networks to provide high-speed networks over fibre optic and indeed over copper. And there'll be other locations that we need to look at internationally where we're setting up IP VPN connections. So the idea of being able to bridge these networks and build what is a seamless network for customers, taking the best from each network provider to bring together, I think is a really compelling argument. And certainly when we've been looking at customers that have run their organizations through MPLS networks, we're able to deliver the same, if not more, bandwidth and service for less money. And some of the examples that I've seen, we're looking at 40% cost saving, whilst we're actually improving the service levels, reporting and delivery across the board. And of course what we're also looking at is we're looking at resilience. So we're looking at backup circuits and services and how, if a particular location were to fail, we can reroute and support continuity for our customers. So we're moving into data centers. And in fact, what we do is we work with clients where we can either provide the managed data center for them through partners. We have our own data centers where we're hosting applications, or indeed customers are implementing into their own data centers or data center partners. So we're creating links. We're creating this great big network out there, which is linking services together for organizations. And this is really the top level where we are delivering services to our customers as and where needed across the organization, moving to that flexible model of scale up and scale down services in line with business need. There's a lot of benefits, and we'll touch on these throughout the day, but I think the important thing to pick up here is that what we do is we assess where customers are at. We sit down, we work out a strategy and a vision and a corresponding plan to get there. And these plans are tailored around our customers' businesses. It really isn't one size fits all. There is a lot of commonality around the technology, a lot of very well established components that we draw upon and use, but it's got to be it's got to be an individual plan that supports you, your business, your strategy to deliver true value back into the organisation. Okay, anchor points. There's a bit of a theme coming through here with a perfect storm and ships and boats. But for us, as I said, these are some of the key elements that we see and are very excited about. SIP trunking. Well, not only is it delivering cost savings, but it is providing me with the ability to build resilience into the network level. Who in the room uses non-geographic numbers, 0845, 0800, etc.? Yeah? So you'll be familiar with the types of continuity options and automatic rerouting that can be run across the network in the event of a failure. Yeah. So SIP provides the same level of functionality. So we can set up alternative routing plans. So if a particular location were to fail, at network level, we can automatically reroute those calls to an alternative destination. And I think the important thing, distinction and change that we're seeing is, yes, we could do those sort of things with ISDN. We could phone up BT and we could ask for a divert to be set up. So, my bearer has been cut through, I need all of my calls rerouted. But the reality of it, yes, it takes time, and you probably have to pay a bit of money to do it, and go through a lot of heartache to get that change. But the reality actually is, you will have a whole host of telephone numbers on that bearer, DDI numbers, that are serving the organisation, serving customers, and different people. And when you do make that shift, the problem you have is you have to move all of those numbers to an alternative destination. You can't pick and choose where they're going to be rerouted. And in the event of a problem and a failure, you need to be able to spread that loading capacity. Well, SIP provides that functionality for you. And of course it provides the flexibility of scale up and scale down. You know, why pay for resource and ISDN channels that you don't need? You know, there may well be peak periods in your business cycle that require that level of capacity. But 70% of the year you may not need that capacity. So why pay for it? Next generation networks, Ethernet, ANXN and private DSL. And again, we see this as tremendously exciting. You know, we've all seen the growth of broadband and DSL circuits across the UK. In fact, I was at an event yesterday where the government are supporting it to really help the whole of the UK be online, be connected to the internet by 2012. So you know the race for 2012, and huge benefits that are seen across people, not just in the business environment, but from a personal environment of connecting people and sharing services and creating what is an inclusive environment. Well, we're seeing the same in the business world. You know, we're seeing bandwidth increase, we're seeing costs come down, and the importance of all of this is as we're adding more and more applications to support the people. We're following the path of unified communications. We're supporting multi-channel communication with customers. We're looking at bringing new services in. We want to welcome customers and know who they are and have access to their data online. We want to use technology to improve productivity, efficiency, and gain bottom line and top line growth. Well, to do all of this, we need the motorways to be right. We need the interconnecting networks to support this change as well. So the bandwidth requirements are going to continue to grow and evolve. And the great news is there's new technology, very exciting, that enables you to take advantage of increased bandwidth, but at more cost-effective price points. Managed edge points, routers. So as part of our proposition, we're delivering really what is a full end-to-end service. So we have access through ANXN and interconnects into in excess of 1,200 exchanges throughout the UK. Not only have we got visibility and control through the exchange equipment, we've also got visibility and control through those edge devices as well. So where we are delivering service, we can see end-to-end what's going on, and we can align service accordingly. One governance, you'll hear from Ipanema shortly, around the importance of these applications and creating and understanding the distinction between a business application and a recreational application that's run across the network. You know, how much of the traffic that runs across the network is critical to the business, and how much of it actually is detrimental to the business and the bandwidth utilization. And one of the questions that really resonates from that is, do you know what bandwidth is required to support your business critical application? And not many people do. So we'll look at tools that are in place. Excellent. I look forward to hearing later on how you track it. But there aren't many people that understand this, and there aren't many people that can dynamically change and flex the bandwidth utilization on application needs. And of course, voice virtualization, which is a really exciting development. So this change is happening. You know, we've been working in this environment for the last couple of years, taking customers through it, sharing the developments that are taking place on the networks, with SIP trunking, with the centralization of telephony infrastructure, and moving into the data centers and taking advantage of virtualization technology. But how do we go and do it? How do we follow this path? So it absolutely is critical to spend the time at the front end understanding where we're at. So we undertake audits, we look at the environments, we look at the mix of services that are being used, we look at the infrastructure, and then we're starting to work out what's actually needed, and we work out a plan. And I think that, again, is very important to me, is that what we're really working towards is to be able to predict and plan what is required across the organisation, what costs are going to be borne, right down to the flexibility of having monthly service charges across an organisation, an application, or indeed a user, and against that understand how we're going to deliver those applications and services, what bandwidth is required, what tools are required to actually successfully manage this, and what guarantees can we put in place to be able to support and underwrite these changes that we're talking about. So managing the migration, we are very fortunate to have the sort of relationships with clients where we do sit down and we have these types of discussions where we plan and we work out a strategic roadmap and path and plan to work together to follow. So we look at elements such as supplier consolidation. What we're seeing, as I said, is this mixed environment which is confusing and time-consuming to manage. And actually, it creates a real problem when it comes to implementing strategy and managing change, because it's very rare that all contracts and all services have that concurrency, have the ability to be able to migrate and move over how you need to. So we look at how we work with existing supply chain, how we go and renegotiate and reset contracts to be able to scale down legacy technology and scale up new technology, and really help to manage and support that migration through taking out things that aren't needed, introducing new technology, and delivering the predictability along this path. So we work to Prince 2 project management. We've got Prince 2, a great team of Prince 2 practitioners within the business. And again, very, very important. Each plan and path is going to be different. There's a lot of tried and tested routes and paths that we will go through that we can draw upon. But what we're doing is we're creating a long-term vision and strategy that can be taken back into the business, that can get the support and the understanding as to why this is really going to help the organisation with their goals. But against it, we're creating very clear anchor points and project plans along the way that we will then work together to manage and deliver to support you moving forward. Very quickly, because I know Mitel will focus on this, but here's an example that we're looking at with a particular client. So they've got invested a lot within the data virtualization world. They've got an environment over many sites, so approaching 20 locations, each with different telephone systems, each that need to be managed, and the challenge of keeping all those software levels at the same point clearly comes with an overhead. What we're doing with those guys is we're looking at introducing new services. So stage one, in fact we've undertaken an audit. We're using call management software to be able to understand the concurrency of the calls across the organisation as a whole, look at the profiles, look at the cost savings that can be achieved, look at the line utilisation that is actually required, and then we're introducing connections from their existing network into our network environment to be able to start to undertake pilots and prove the technology. In fact, as we did with yourself here, undertaking the proof of concept stage to show the power of this technology, show the quality, and show how it works. And from there, we can start to work through a plan of migrating and moving services over. So we can port the traditional ISDN services and numbers over to the platform, and we can reduce the ISDN channels and requirements and start to remove cost out of the equation, and also importantly introduce further resilience into operations. From there, we're then looking at building the core for customers, so taking voice into the data center, whether it be a customer's premise, or our data center, or indeed other partners' data centers, and from there virtualizing applications and starting to bring these legacy platforms back into the core. So bringing applications into the central network. So again, making it easier for single instances of applications to be managed across the organization. Taking the telephony systems again into the core, so we can use them as local gateways and breakouts, but again we can also bring them back into the core depending upon the sites, the requirements, and the scale and sizing, to be able to deliver services to the edge without the demand for hardware that we'd have seen in a traditional model. You know, we can move to a single network as we see here, so migrate over from existing MPLS networks over to this new world of Ethernet and Annex M technology. So we've put a program together, the 7 steps to virtualization and SIP. And as you'd expect, all of this is very well documented with project plans behind it. And of course the important thing, as I said, is to sit down and spend the time to understand where you're at, where you're going. You know, there is no one-size-fits-all path. Rate of change happens at different pace for everybody, and every organisation will be at different points in their cycle and development. And you know, as a business, we're here to support that. We're here to look at tried and tested methods to be able to share with you what can be done, how you can really gain the benefits out of this new world that we're seeing emerge, and look forward to picking up later on and discussing many experiences with you and how we can help.